Welcome to the LongBox Paradox, episode 50. I'm going to apologize up front for being a little bit absent the last 2 weeks. I had illness and just needed to kind of take a little bit of me time and take a break from making videos just to kind of recharge a little bit. So for those of you who were checking in, I did post some stuff on Instagram, quick reviews. Last week in particular, I had a problem getting my books. Thank you for coming back and bearing with me, and for anybody who came and checked out the live stream Sunday, thank you. Big thank you to Perry Comics for stopping in and hanging out during the stream and being a little lively in the chat. I appreciate it. So going to start out right away from Image Comics. We've got Killadelphia #1. This book actually took me by surprise. I didn't know too much about it. And it's got a very noir feel, and if you are a fan of Guillermo del Toro's The Strain, this is a comic for you. It is by Rodney Barnes with art by Jason Shawn Alexander, and very much kind of has a feel of Seven from the way you dive into the book. There's a murder investigation right off the bat. There's missing kids. We start out following this detective, Sangster, and he's kind of fighting with his boss. There's a little bit of political intrigue in it. He gets a tip-off for the kid that he's looking for, Tevin Tompkins, and he goes to where this call said he was. And he basically goes into a trap, and it does have a little bit of the Last Man on Earth, a little bit of that feel. He opens up, it's dark, he yells the kid's name and gets attacked, and we find out that he's dead. We then jump to his son, who is a Baltimore beat cop, and he's just there to, bury the past, basically. And he finds his dad's journal, and he starts reading it. It goes to this murder that happened years ago, and there was graffiti there that said Sons of the Republic, and he's Googling it, and as it turns out, there's been these weird murders over the past, disappearances, some that had to do with like bites and look like yellow fever. And as he's digging in, there's a historical reference to a president who came back with yellow fever, or a yellow fever-like thing. So Sangster's son starts going down the rabbit hole of what is going on. And he goes to where his dad last was, and there's people hanging upside down. It's vampires. So this is a vampire story that happens to have to do with historical revolutionaries. It ends with him going to dig up his old man, and everything jumps from there. It's an interesting story. I kind of like the setup for it. It was a little bit of a slow burn going into it. Definitely, since I knew nothing about it really, jumping into this, I really enjoyed it. I'm always down for a good horror comic, or anything horror. Gonna give this a 7 out of 10. Jason Shawn Alexander's art, I'm all over the place with. For this book, it works perfectly. Of course, he did Spawn for a while. Definitely, again, I knew nothing about this book, so to be surprised like I was, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Again, it reminded me a bit of The Strain. Actually, it reminded me of The Strain quite a bit. I'd give this a buy. A 7 out of 10 should tell you that's a buy, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. I really liked it, and I'm real curious to see where it goes. From DC Comics, a book that I was completely surprised about, The Last God, Book 2, or I should say Chapter 2, Phillip Kennedy Johnson, Riccardo Federici. And I'll touch on something that on Buyer Pass, I can't remember if it's Comic Jabroni or Perry Comics said, it's one of the rare books that the cover art is the same as the interior art. So there are no surprises, there's no letdown. What you see on the cover is what you see in the book. And, I mean, this is borderline fantasy horror. It jumps a little bit to the present and the past and shows how Tyr met his wife. And then it jumps to the present with them escaping the kingdom, and Tyr has been infected by the last god, and there's a lot of body horror that would remind you of The Thing. It kind of tells you a little bit about the past, what happened to Tyr's brother, the infection, the truth behind the lie, about what happened when they faced the last god, their fellowship. Just beautiful book. Again, it reminds me completely of Lord of the Rings, especially Isildur. Kind of Tyr is kind of like Isildur. He did the wrong thing. I completely love this book. The writing's great. The art is fantastic by Federici. I can't say enough about it. This is straight up an 8 out of 10. It has more action than the first issue had. This is the perfect use of a Black Label title. You have this oversized version with this beautiful art in it, and it's a very dark book. There's a lot of hopelessness. Like, you'd almost think that Rick Remender wrote it. It's that hopeless. It's just beautiful. I can't recommend this enough. This is a straight up buy. It'll be a beautiful oversized hardcover when it comes out, which I will probably end up picking up. Head out to your shop, buy it, get on Comixology, whatever you got to do to pick it up. This is the kind of book that I want to see the big two put out more of. I mean, this probably would be a Vertigo title back in the past, and maybe that's what Black Label is now. It's Vertigo. I can't recommend it enough. And on a week that I didn't see a ton that I wanted to read, this was one I absolutely was looking forward to right off the bat. Gonna move on now to Marvel Comics and the meager bit they gave us this week. It was a really bad week for Marvel. It really was. It just was not good. I was a little rough on Fallen Angels issue 1, so I wanted to give issue 2 a chance. Right away, it jumps into Psylocke, aka Kwannon, back in her past, basically showing her murdering people left and right. There's her and X-23 having this talk, and X-23 is talking about, there's a part of me that not many people can understand. I pretend it's not there. I smile. I'm nice. But there's an anger in her that, I give up any hope that someone could possibly understand. But she sees in Psylocke that she's someone that can understand and has mastered it, and she wants her to master it. And Psylocke tells her, but every master is a slave. I find this new Cable boring. He just, I don't know, they made him younger, and he is more boring, if not, he's as boring, if not more boring than the other one. And this book is it's mostly about Psylocke. It's her book. Just these other jabronis are in it. And X-23 kind of being a side character at this point, I don't feel it works that well. And again, I feel like Bryan Edward Hill doesn't have her voice in his head. And there's certain writers that just, they come into these characters they're not familiar with, and they try to kind of reset the wheel, but the wheel's already so far gone that they kind of miss what's happened with the characters, and it's a little disappointing. I feel like she doesn't get used like she should be. Again, there's more of Psylocke or Quinon's past when she was with the Hand, and there's Mr. Sinister in here. Yeah, it's a little bit better than issue 1, but it's still not enough for me to keep up with it. And it's a shame. I really like Bryan Hill's writing, and I was actually excited for this book when it was coming out. And it's just not doing it for me. I'll give issue 3 a chance. Hopefully the wheels will start finally rolling, but as of right now, I don't see any long-term me staying on it. It just is not working. Actually, there's a couple of these books I think I'll be paring down real fast, but I'm going to use issue 3 as my cutoff point. But this one and Excalibur right now are like right there at the cutting edge. Excalibur just has not been fantastic. What I will say though, there was a 1 in 25 Peach Momoko variant cover for this that I really thought was nice. Weirdly, this was one of those weeks that I think that the A and B covers for a lot were better than the actual ratio variants. It was not a great way. I thought DC actually had the more solid week this week. Image had a couple that I have not gotten to read yet. They're in my pile, and I've been slacking. I just have been. I can't lie about that. I think Die number 10 is out next week, so I'll be on that one right off the bat. I think Batman's coming out again. There's a lot of books. I mean, Doomsday Clock number 12 right now is the book I'm most excited to read, and I think we've got another 2 or 3 weeks before that comes out. But I can't wait to read it and be done with it. Oh, so I did mess up here. Fallen Angels. My review of it, it's 4 out of 10. It lacks a soul. I can't recommend buying it. I wouldn't recommend buying it. Maybe if it picks up after issue 3, it'll be an okay trade. But as of right now, there's nothing. And I will say, like most of these new Dawn of X books, other than X-Force number 1, there's nothing happening really that's resonating in the other titles or pushing you to want to read those other titles or bringing them all together. Maybe it's going to change. I don't know. I hope so. So for right now, I'm going to bid you all adieu. Thank you very much for joining me, and I again apologize for not posting as much as I had been. Life gets in the way sometimes, it just does. For December, for the graphic novel book club, we are doing Lobo the Last Zarinian with the Paramilitary Christmas. It's Gambit's favorite character, so I figured for Christmas, and since Lobo has a Christmas book, we're going to do that. We've decided we're going to do it as another live stream. Going to pick probably a better time and day of the week where might have some more viewers. Again, we're still kind of getting our feet wet with it. So until then, I will be posting, I will be doing the previews this weekend. I will have it up by at least Monday and get back on a regular schedule. And for those that come here for the horror movie reviews or movie reviews, I will be getting back to that. I'm kind of just, I was burnt out on fighting with the copyright clips, what's fair use, what's not fair use. It kind of burned me out a little bit, and the back and forth, and what is fair use, what isn't fair use. So I needed a break from that, and the amount of time it took me to pull clips and edit them down versus what I was getting out of it, which was not joy at the time. Sorry, that's enough of me complaining. Anyway, it's Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's having a great time with your family, and for those of you that are alone like myself, find something to keep yourselves busy. For me, it's doing a video today. Um, Pick up a hobby. Find some people to talk to, or if you need to talk to somebody, go engage on Twitter, Instagram. Uh, I don't know, just anything that occupy your time so you don't feel that alone. Take care.